Well, this is Stephen Wade here again to have another interview with one of our members, Leo. We're thankful for Leo for his time that he's given to us here to talk a little bit about his experience with the MACD3 system and his membership. So thanks for joining us, Leo.
Thank you, guys.
So let's jump right into the first question here. What have you done for a living, before trading or even during trading? How long have you been a trader? And what motivated you, Leo, to get into trading?
Well, I did my first trade. It was an option trade. I was in high school. And I had to trade through my father, but it was back in 1975. I got into it because I loved numbers. We never had money when I was growing up, and when I saw what could be done in the market, and my father-in-law both have done quite a bit of trading. I just knew it's something that I wanted to do. But I pursued a career like everybody else. I became a CPA, which I am, and I got my contractor's license. I'm a general contractor as well, and done quite a bit. I've got a little aeration company that I run on the side, and I also do stock and option trading and have for 20 some odd years. I've run a couple companies in between times that we bought and sold. Um, but my passion's always been trading, and I still do that. I do options as well as Forex, but options is just not been as consistent in this year. There's just not been as much movement. It's been harder to do. So I heard about Forex trading through actually a family friend. My sister-in-law went to school with Hope,
Oh,
one
okay.
of your more experienced traders.
Sure.
So I called Hope up and asked her about what she thought about what she's doing, because I'd seen a little YouTube that she'd done on it as well. And she told me about it, and I've been checking it out myself, and that's how I got interested in Forex. And so far, everything that I've seen has been what I expected, doing really well.
Oh, that's awesome. We appreciate. It's always fun to talk to our members because I'm always fascinated about the various different backgrounds that people come from. It sounds like you've got a pretty busy background, so that's pretty cool.
So I do.
Well,
A little company that does the aeration on lakes and reservoirs that, it's kind of a part-time thing, so it's more of a seasonal thing.
sure.
So you can do trading on the side, which is the great thing about this, and it becomes more of the year, really, is the trading. So,
Well,
yes, I do stay busy.
that's cool. So, next question here: how long have you been a MACD3 member and trader?
A little over 2 months.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, that's and we have members at all different lengths of time, so it's kind of fun to be able to 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 talk to different people who have different experience levels.
Well, it's been to me, it's been a great learning experience when I've gone through. Which, by the way, the course is just excellent. It's laid out real well. I think anybody that jumps in there and looks at it, I've had no other place that I've found a teaching course like this, where you can get the detail and actually learn something that you don't know. And I mean, even starting from scratch, if you put in the time and go through this course, as well as the live webinar every day, which has been excellent, and the chat room, which I stay active in. I haven't seen anything like it. I've tried all kinds of different things. I've tried mentors, and I've tried different types of courses, and read every book I can get my hands on. And there's not the hands-on teaching like I've gotten with your group. I think it's great.
Thanks, Leo. This is Wade. It means a lot from us because we work really hard to try to present, quality information and a good system. And there's a lot of the people out there marketing good things and bad things, and sometimes it's hard for folks to be able to distinguish, whether we're full of it or whether we're right on and the real deal. So coming from you, that means a lot. The next question that we have for you is, how does the MACD3 system compare with you for any other systems that you might have traded?
Well, that's a good question, because I have traded several, and I still do, of course, as you know, in options. And I've found myself applying the MACD3 system to my options trading. So it not only applies to Forex, and I know you guys know this, but it works in equities as well. And it's a discipline thing. It's something that you'll see, at least I have seen for myself since I've traded for a while, that you get out of focus after a while, and especially if you trade equities. There's so many different options and choices out there. When you narrow in and use the MACD3, and you're looking at Forex and concentrating on three or four of the main pairs, you really can get into and analyze things and trade the way you should. I think probably I'm not the only one that gets fragmented like that, but I found that that's what was kind of diverting me from my from the more success that I've had in the past, I've still been successful, made money even this year, but it had trailed off, and I think this system really forces you to focus, and that's what it's all about.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right. Well, then that kind of segues into our next question. You know, you've only been a member for 2 months, and we know you've been doing pretty well, so we wanted to have you share that. How consistent have you been trading the MACD3 system, and you know, how has that gone for you as far as your average wins and losses, you know, that sort of thing?
My average loss has been very small. In fact, I've been trading a lot, or 2 lots, and I try to keep my average loss, which is smaller than your stop loss would do, but I try to keep my average loss $50 or less. And I've had winning trades, so you know I'm not losing more than 10 pips when I have a loser, or you know a lot of them are break even. And I've recently had my biggest, and I've only been doing this for 2 months, as you know, but I've had my longer runs recently. I've got a 55 as of yesterday, as a matter of fact, a 55 pipper, and I had a 50 last week. So I've had 2 of them that are in the upper ranges for me, but I'm working on one of my, you know, I'm still working on the system, of course, but one of the things I want to do is hold it longer and try to get more into a swing trade situation that I do with my equities trading, and I can see the possibilities out there. And your top-down analysis has helped me tremendously in trying to focus more on that. It's one of my weaknesses. I acknowledge it, and I can see that things are getting better in terms of pips. I've been very happy with the success I've had so far. You know, with the percentage win losses, I'm making money, and to
Right.
do something for 2 months and be making money, I think that's excellent.
Now, so what did you mention that your percentage of accuracy has been?
Well, my last 6 trades have been winners, and you know, to be honest, I should go back and tally the total from the beginning, but I haven't. But the losers have been very small by far. I've outweighed the losers with my winners, and focusing on trying to just pick the trades that are going to be winners, and that's been something else too. No jumping in. And it forces you to look for a pattern and to do top down. But I can just tell you that my account is bigger than it was when I started, and that my average win-loss I'm very happy with. I'm getting the 2 to 1. I know you talk about 1.5 to 1 and 2 to 1. You want to try to shoot for that, but I'm getting pretty consistent 2 to 1 win, risk versus you know, loss on it. So
Yeah.
happy with it. Very happy.
That's awesome. And as you continue to move forward, you can use the 20 trade challenge from Mark Douglas that we talk about, and you go back and look at your last grouping of 20 trades, and that'll start to give you an average. And when you start to see yourself you probably start to see yourself being about 75 to 85% accurate, and you got the risk reward in line, so it's perfect.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, I'll do that, but I wanted to give it a fair shake. I saw your little 20 trade challenge when I first got in there, but until I know a little bit better what I'm doing, and I feel like I know pretty well. I can jump in and feel pretty comfortable with it every day now, but I wanted to give it a little bit more time, maybe another 2 or 3 weeks before I do that, but I will.
Sure.
Okay.
Awesome. This is Steve again, and this question is, you know, comes right off the previous one there. Would you say, with your experience, that there are enough MACD3 trading opportunities in a given trading day to make it actually worth your time to do it?
Oh my gosh, yes, yeah, for sure. I mean, looking at just the 4 pairs, and I know you've probably seen that I tend to wander off into a couple other ones, and I think hope pulls me into them sometimes. But I do look at some of those other pairs and get involved in those. But just in the 4 pairs, I'm seeing, because I trade to London, I come in early. I try to get up early as I can Eastern time and trade that one. And by the time I get into the webinar, yeah, there's usually 1 or 2 trades that I've done before then. And I know you guys talk about you want to get 3 to 5 good trades a weekend, but gosh, I can get probably 20.
Nice. Yeah. That's awesome. That's what I want to know is you know, what kind of experience you've had, especially because you mentioned you trade the London and the U.S. So you know, now next question. Now that you've been a member for a couple of months and you've had a chance to use the members version of the MACD3 Pro charts and Trade Assistant, you know, the charts that we give you. You know, this version is a lot more powerful even than the version we used for years in the past, because our system rules are now built into our charts. Now, those charts that we have that we used to use are, of course, as you probably know, Leo, are available for download on our website. But what would you say your opinion is of the MACD3 Pro Charts and Trade Assistant EA that we provide to all of our members?
Oh, they're great. And you'll know that, or else, or I know that, because the red levels, that you'll download, you've got them set up for the main four pairs that we trade. When I switch over to one of the other pairs that doesn't have them yet, gosh, you miss them right away. But thankfully, all the other, the P1 indicators and the TA still works with the other pairs as well. But having all the red levels put on there and having the realignment arrows, it's so beneficial. I just see myself almost at first saying, oh my gosh, what's going on, when I switch to a pair that doesn't have those on there yet. But I go in and put them in. You guys have been very good in teaching how to put them in, and that's a good learning experience right there, going through and making your own.
Sure.
So those are great. And the TA I use, I think the alarms are great. I haven't used as much, I'll be honest with you, the actual trade, the order entry from it, but I will. It's just that I've been grasping everything else, and I immediately wanted the alerts, so I jumped into that right away, and I love those. I think that the TA is an excellent benefit.
Yeah, absolutely. This is Wade again. Yeah, the new EA with or the Trade Assistant with the rules built in, the alerts and all that, it's been invaluable for helping make sure that people don't miss possible trades. So, Leo, what sessions do you trade? I guess we already asked you that. You trade basically the London and the U.S., huh?
Well, not only that, but I've been trying to just engulf myself into this stuff. So I get up at 4 Eastern time, and or I've got my computer on at 4 Eastern time, and I trade that session, and I go right into the webinar with you guys, and then we all get together about 8:30 at night, and we go through the emails. We've got it by then, or if not, then we kind of and try to anticipate and go through and run through all the main four pairs, and we trade the Asian and the Australian session as well. So I'm trying to trade all four sessions right now. It doesn't give you much of a break, and I'm getting a little weary. I'm going to have to sort of focus a little bit more as far as the sessions goes. But it's been a really good way to jump in and learn very quickly.
Sure.
Absolutely. So what you've been a pretty active participant in the London chat room with the other members in there, and we really appreciate you being vocal because that helps us to grow that community. But we wanted to get an opinion. So, how has that been for you? How do you like the chat room?
Well, I haven't found a question yet that somebody didn't have an answer for, one that made sense for me. And sometimes it's not what I'm looking, it's not what I'm expecting, but I respect the experienced traders in there, and you find out who they are really quickly. And those I'm already finding that from what I've gone through, I'm able to start helping a little bit those that are brand new. There were a few of those in there this morning. So it's a good camaraderie. I've asked a lot of questions, and I even off the chat room now and then, I'll get together with people. They're willing to share that way as well if you get to know some of them pretty well. But it's a good camaraderie, I think. I've really learned a lot. I won't say that I've learned nearly as much as I have going through the through the webinars and going through the videos, but I would not want to give up the chat room. You just get like an extra little. I guess it's more like a confidence builder because you got other people out there actually trading like you are, doing the same things. You're not just reading about it; you're doing it, and those people are helping you as you do it. So it's very valuable.
That's awesome. This is Steve again here, and this is kind of a follow-up question to that. And you mentioned it a little bit, but what would you say your opinion is, or what do you think of the live trading webinar that we hold each trading morning, during the New York session?
Have probably been the best. Once I've gone through the videos, they were the best thing I could do to start with. But second to that, the best learning experience has been the live trading webinar. I have to focus myself on the trades that are actually being talked about in there, because I'll have some other things that I started earlier going on, and I'm popping back and forth. So anybody that starts looking at those, if you don't have trades on, or if you've got if you can just focus on the pair that's being traded within the webinar, I think you'll learn a lot more. At least that's what I'm finding for myself. But once I've learned how to use it most successfully, the webinar itself, I think it's been probably the second to the video, and learning the MACD3 system. And I'm still learning, and I don't know it all yet, but I'm picking up little stuff in there that I just somehow have not grasped when I went through the videos, and it's a great follow-up to those.
Well, that's fantastic. That's what we try and do is not only give trades, because of course we're trying to find trades to everybody because we talk about the trades that set up, but also take some opportunities to answer questions and do some teaching in there as well. And that kind of leads into the next question as well. You mentioned it before, you kind of touched on it, but how effective has that daily email trading plan that we send out for the Asian London session, how has that been working out for you?
Well, what I do with that, and that's such a good training tool too. Before, I won't even look at it. When it first comes in, I don't look at it because, and I do look at it, but bear with me here. I first go through all 4 pairs and I write down what I think, and I try to do it in the same format that you guys are going to send your email, just to try to get myself in the right line of thinking, so that I'm thinking the way that the system is training me. And then I open the email and look at how close I am. And boy, at first there's no comparison. I thought, how in the world are they coming up with this? And I look back at it, and you just start to see some things that you didn't have. Your eyes are open, but you're not seeing the trees for the forest.
Sure.
And then you start to look at it, and you say, oh gosh, yes, how could I miss that? And it's also a way that pointed out to me that I wasn't doing very good top-down analysis, because I'd be focusing in on the trade for that day, what's going to happen during that day, and not seeing how something else can be affecting it that's going to last a lot longer. So to me, I think it's a great tool to use if you'll write down what you think first after you've gone through the videos and you think you know what's going on, and try to get an idea about what that email is going to say, and then pull up the email and open it and go through it. And I do that before I go into the chat room every day. I'll write down what I think I should be doing, what it looks like to me on the 4 pairs that we do. I'll look at the email, and then we'll talk about it in the chat room. And that's been a good learning experience for me, too. So I think it's great. I love it.
Awesome. Well, that's really great, because we take a lot of pride in that email trading plan as well. And it really has been a boon for us. This is Wade again. It's been a boon for us because for the longest time we were focused on the U.S. trading session only, and we didn't have anything available for London traders. And now we've got that pretty much nailed down. So we feel pretty good about that we can offer just about any trading session. So next question is, Leo, where do you see yourself as a MACD 3 trader, say, a year from now?
I'm concentrating on Forex. I'm trying to wean myself from options, and I'd like to be doing this as much full-time as I can. And I do see, from what I'm seeing already, I see that this is going to be an income for me, an income maker that's just not been that consistent in the past. It's already getting that way, and I can see where it can be compounded. I started out intentionally fairly small. I trade fairly large numbers in my equity. And I'm going to probably move over that as we go along, and I start to feel that I want to take on Forex and use that as my main income source. Then I'm going to move monies over from my equity account, because this is so much more consistent, so much more fun, and I can see already from what I make that it's going to be the way to go, much better than the options, I think.
Perfect. Okay, well then that leads us to our final question. What words of wisdom or advice would you have for someone who's considering joining the membership program?
Well, as I said earlier, I don't know, and I've been around and looked at a lot of things. I don't know where you're going to find a more comprehensive set of training materials and a better strategy than you can get with what I'm seeing in the MACD 3 system. It's complete. I mean, it's not something where you're going to have to sit there and guess. If you've got questions about the way the system works, you've got people available to you, not only you two, Wade and Steve, but also the people in the chat room that are experienced. So having that kind of backup and versus just buying a system or just having a mentor that expects you to kind of absorb what you're expected to do is priceless. You just can't find it. I've looked and looked, and like I said, I've read. You can read all the books that you want, but until you get in there and start doing it, making mistakes, and having somebody that right there that you can ask questions, you just don't find things like that. So my advice to somebody that's considering it is that if they're committed, and you're not going to just jump in and read through this and start trading and make money. I don't think anybody can. Well, maybe there are some people out there that can do that, but I think they're going to be far the exception. But I do think if you will go through and do what you guys have recommended and watch the videos 3 or 4 times, and then go in and do the fast tracks and go into the webinars daily and do the chat as well, I think anybody can do this. And I think if you're committed, you will do it. There's just no question to me about it. I don't think it takes super intelligence. I think it just takes a good commitment, and you'll be successful at it.
Almost like following a recipe to a certain degree.
It is. It's been amazing to me. I fell into doing my option trading when I first got started trading, and that was basically learn on your own. It was the hard knocks, and I've had plenty of hard knocks over the years, and I still don't have as comprehensive a system for trading my options as you guys have put together for trading Forex. So just leagues ahead of what I had given to me when I first started. I wish I had this back then. I wouldn't be trading today probably.
That's what Steve and I said the other day. We wish we had what we have now back then.
Yeah.
Leo, so thanks a lot, Leo. We really appreciate you taking the time with us today.
For sure.
We're going to go ahead and close out the interview.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. I appreciate everything you guys have put together, and it truly is amazing, and I'm enjoying it. I'm sure you can see from stuff that's happening not only during the webinars but in the chat as well if you're reading through some of that stuff. But, I get pretty active in there, pretty vocal.
Yeah,
it's great fun.
We appreciate it. So anybody else that's looking to join, then go into the London chat room and you get to meet Leo.
Yeah, I'll be there.
All right. Thanks again, Leo. Appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Thank you, too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.